Thanks everybody for being here. Welcome to the Real Life Real Estate Show. This is season 2, episode 6. My name is Hector Hernandez, and I am a real life mentor coach here, wealth building real estate coach at Real Life Trading. I am a full-time real estate fund manager, and with me today, as always, is my buddy, my pal, Mr. Luis Alejandro Lopez.
How are you doing, everybody? My name is Luis Alejandro Lopez. I'm a real estate investor, wealth coach here in Real Life Trading. And as always, we're going to bring you as much information so you can move your wealth from the stock trading into physical, lovely, and growing assets, which is real estate. So first of all, let's do our little disclaimer. We are two guys on the internet. We've done a lot of stuff. We want to show you how we've done a lot of stuff. But remember, every time that you sign a dotted line or you click on your mouse, you do whatever is your responsibility. We're trying here to educate you. If you have any questions, any comments, whatever, please reach out to us before you do something that you're not sure about. Okay. So let's have a look at how things are going.
Can we correct that disclaimer real quick, bro?
Sure. What do you want?
We are two great looking guys on the internet. We need to fix that, bro.
All right. Have your team contact
not just two random good-looking guys on the internet. I mean, we could take that, right?
Have your people talk to my people.
We'll get the attorney's clearance on that, right?
Yeah.
Let's make sure. By the way, Johnny posted a few minutes ago that stop move to the green on the Roblox 44.64 and then got trailed out, looks like shortly thereafter.
Roblox what? 44.64?
4464 Roblox new stop, which got hit. So if you are still in Roblox, just full disclosure, Johnny is out and trailed out. And by the looks of it, for a small gain, which is always good, right? My man, Money Johnny, knows how to protect them gains.
Oh, yeah. He's a sniper. I love Johnny. All right. So let's talk
Johnny.
a little bit about the markets, what the real estate market is doing, what the overall market is doing. We all know that we had the Fed meeting a couple of weeks ago, and we were having fun with Tony and buying calls and selling puts and doing all kinds of great things. As expected, Mr. Powell raised the rates for another quarter of a point, and the current rate is 4.83. Keep in mind that the rates keep going up for the last year. We started, doing the big increases in June last year, and it's been an ongoing trend. And this probably not going to stop. Okay, remember, he wants to choke the markets, he wants to choke the economy because inflation is running rampage, and he wants to slow down everything. The next Fed meet is going to be in May, okay, May 2023, May 2nd to May 3rd. According to what I've been reading, we are expecting another quarter of a point increase. Now, it depends. There's a lot of things that we don't even know what's going to happen now or later. He might go for a half, he might stop. Who knows? Okay, my crystal ball again is at the dealer today, so I'm not really sure. So we're gonna figure it out, as things get going.
Crystal ball getting an oil change or a new battery? New battery pack,
New
right?
battery.
We're all electric these
New
days.
battery.
We did get a small, like a smidge. I don't know the numbers. I just kind of heard it on Benzinga this morning that the core PCE did come down a little bit. So we are starting to notice a tiny little improvement on inflation. So hopefully that means that what the Fed is doing is working. And like Lewis said, we're expecting probably one more rate hike at least. And hopefully at that point, they kind of just hang tight for a little bit. I don't foresee them pulling back and starting to drop rates anytime soon, honestly, unless, the whole banking crisis, that could throw a wrench in the entire plan, obviously. But they've done some stuff to mitigate the banking crisis and basically just provided Fed money to back up those banks to make sure that they have enough liquidity so that people don't panic and run out and take all their cash out. So as long as that doesn't get too crazy and we don't start seeing a systemic failure of banks, I think the Fed will basically hold true to the word and continue to squeeze this inflation out, because I don't know about you, Lou, I'm tired of paying $15 for eggs, bro. It's crazy, man.
Are you kidding me? Bro, I just went to lunch at BurgerFi. $20 a burger and fries. It's, It
Yes,
is what it
sir.
is, I guess.
Yes,
So let's
sir.
see how the markets are going. As long as inflation is not killing everybody, let's see what's going on with the prices. All right. So mortgage rates. Mortgage rates have a little bit of a dip. So if we see the chart, we're going to notice something. Let me move my panel over to this side. Every time there's a Fed increase, there's a jump on the rates. And as soon as nobody applies for mortgages, the banks get all desperate and they lower the rates back. Okay, what's the difference? Why is that happening? Remember, what's the lenders in business for?
Making loans.
And nope, they're in the business of making money or
Oh, yeah.
maximizing the profit. So
True.
what happens if the banks, they squeeze the rate, they go extremely high and nobody applies for loans? It's like, oops, we just screwed up. And they need to bring the rates down again until people start applying. They make no money with the rates are so high. So it's a little game of how much can we squeeze people before they get scared. Okay, so
It's that good old supply and demand, right?
exactly. They're gonna keep going down. We expect them to come down. And then in May, depending on what happens, we're probably gonna see another spike, which is what happens in every time. If you see my cursor, every time there's a Fed meeting. Okay, and then they screw everybody up. Remember the biggest hike was in June, and it jumped to 747, 746, something like that, and it's coming down. Today, the average 30-year mortgage is a 632. Okay,
So this is already taken into account the rate hike that they just did
correct
last week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad considering we hit sevens late last year. I think it's a lot of the function what you're saying right now, right? It's the supply and demand. They realize, they got a price ahead of the Fed, right? Because they're giving you a 30-year mortgage, so they don't want to be upside down. But at the same time, they realize if we go too high, people are basically going to
people
sit on
are
their
just
hands.
people are just gonna apply for mortgages. So again, we're playing a game here of how much they can go up, but the other thing that we're working here is with affordability. I was reading an article a couple of days ago where, with this rates right now, it's if you buy a home today for $360,000 at this rate, is the same mortgage payment if you were buying a $650 something thousand-dollar home a couple of years ago at 2%, at almost 3% that it was. So they are squeezing the buying power of people, which is exactly what the Fed wants. It wants to slow down the economy. Hopefully, we're still looking at that soft landing that they were talking, but again, we don't know what they're doing because they want to put the inflation down and crimp everything, and then just throw a whole bunch of money to the banks because otherwise, then we're gonna have bigger problems. We'll see. Okay, but as of now, it's been 3 weeks that the mortgage rates are being on the decline, which is great for buyers, great for investors. Okay, so what happened now with prices of homes? Have a look at that. Prices of homes are barely flat, increased a slightly smidge, which if we see from 2021, from 2022 and 2023, that's basically the trend. Prices of homes tend to go up after winter. People, finally are, feel free to go out and you don't deal with the snow. And people try to buy homes usually in the spring. Few reasons why. First, we have income tax returns coming in, so people have extra money. Second thing, people usually want to be on their new home by the time their children are going back to new schools. They want to be set up in the summer. They don't want to be dealing with that. So they're usually nationwide, and for most in Florida, it's insane. The biggest market where you buy and sell homes is usually between March and end of May. After end of May, things start slowing down, and then if we hit the summer in South Florida, everybody's gone. Nobody wants to do anything because it's too damn hot. Okay, it's true. Don't look at me like
It's not that hot, man.
Hey, that's why I'm in the woods, brother.
I just dropped some part of the right rock. I mean, we love Florida, but this guy over here, he had to go up north and get some of that cold weather.
I got woods and I got turns, I got curves. It's amazing. I didn't realize that not everything's a straight flat road. All right. So properties are going up. Let's play a little bit with Redfin. Okay, let me just lower down here. Let me lower down.
And then, so while you look that up, I was looking, that's why I was looking at the other screen. I was looking for, it's part of that report from this morning. What they said is that personal income actually rose a little bit, about 1/3%, which is a little bit more than was expected. And consumer spending actually came in below expectations. So yeah, it climbed 0.2%. However, they were expecting 0.3. So it looks like the consumers are also slowing down a little bit. They're still spending more than they were, just a month ago. However, just a tiny little bit more. So
we're a little bit scared.
The people are starting to either have less money. Those eggs are really taking, and I keep mentioning eggs because I just went to go to groceries the other day. I had to buy eggs and bread, and I normally don't do the groceries. So I was like, I was shocked, man. The sticker shock was real.
Yeah, I hear you.
I came home in shock. My wife's like, no, that's normal. That's what we've been paying.
All right. So homes sold nationwide. 325, almost 326,000 homes sold year over year. Again, we have a reduction of homes sold year to year. Remember, the market at this time last year was insane. Everybody was looking to move and go here and there and everywhere. Obviously, the things are slowed down. The peak of the market was June 2022, pretty much, when the prices were at the top and everything started slowing down as soon as, J. Powell started putting down the rates. Rates are 6.3. Again, we are 2.5 points above we were last year. Same thing that we were talking, the same home now that you buy for 360, you could have paid the same amount of mortgage for another home for probably $500,000. So affordability is starting to get hit. The churn here, yes, we have a churn. Let me go down to the average home was 382 in January. Okay, and 386 in February. So prices are starting to tick up. Again, I believe this tick up, it's seasonal.
It's seasonal,
more than anything else. Okay, it's not.
Yeah, and it'll probably take up again this month. The next month, as you just mentioned, is that spring buying season.
Mm-hmm. All right. Second thing, and we're going to talk about this again.
Can we talk about sinkholes?
Yeah, calls and puts. Here we go. With the top 10 metros with the fastest growing sales price, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Florida. Okay.
Hey, everyone out there watching, please remember, Florida has hurricanes. They have sinkholes. They have a lot of. Come on, stop inflating my prices. I need some deals here.
That's okay, but we're gonna see the trend. Everybody's moving south. Everybody's moving to the southeast. Pretty much, we're gonna see a couple of trends over there. But yeah, I'm surprised. Again, we talked about it last month. League Acres, Florida, and Lexington and Fayetteville, Kentucky. Yes, I was in Lexington a couple of months ago. It's a beautiful town. I can see why it's increasing in prices. Beautiful town, great manufacturing place. It's amazing. Sarasota and St. Petersburg. Where's Marta? I need to talk to Marta. I hope she's here. Okay, we were having a session, a mentorship session yesterday, and she said that she needed to look for properties, and that's her market. Lead Acres, Florida. We spoke about it yesterday. Lead Acres was like in the boonies in Fort Myers, and all of a sudden exploded. Probably all the explosion is because people are looking into newer homes. There's no newer homes in Fort Myers, Naples, and everything. They started, developing the whole area. People are moving over there. Tallahassee, I'm not sure about it. Tallahassee is it's always been a big town, and you have the colleges plus all the government. So I'm not really sure. Anyone over here familiar with Myrtle Beach, Fayetteville, and the Kentuckys? I want to post one in the chat and let us know what's going on in your side of town.
Well, I've only been to Myrtle Beach for vacation, and it's just beautiful, man. And South Carolina in general has been booming. Obviously, like we've discussed many times, the entire Southeast, right? It comes back to weather, to affordability and desirability, that people are, leaving some of the northern states. The population is aging, right? And most people want to move to slightly warmer weather as they age up. But one thing that I don't know exactly what is driving this in Myrtle Beach now, but I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to visit. This is the one that kind of surprised me today. I know that there's some stuff going on in Kansas City, but Wichita just made its way up there. I don't remember seeing that last time we looked at these.
I'll have to do some research. We'll see.
Yeah, that's very interesting. We've known that Kentucky's been on fire. Kentucky's been on fire for a little bit. I mean, when did you and I visit Kentucky to go look at property? That was like a year and a half ago, right? 2 years?
Yeah, a year and a half ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of markets that are just booming, man.
All right, housing supply. We have, homes for sale. There's 1,300,000, which is okay. You see a little bit more homes for sale than last year. Okay. New listed homes. So you have homes that have been listed and listed and listed and relisted and relisted and reheated. And, they take it out of the fridge and they put it back in the market. So there's people that, for the most part, they miss the peak and they are listing and listing and listing and they're not selling and they're not budging on price. So what's going to happen? You're going to keep seeing a lot more homes listed with a lot more homes in the market. Okay, with days in the market, they don't want to budge in the price. So if you see the newly listed homes, it's actually way less than was last year, about a quarter. Okay, so what this is happening is probably a home that I put an offer last week where they be trying to sell the thing since July, and it's as is, and they don't want to budget anything. They started at 325 in July, they just dropped the price to 295 when the house is really worth at that point 220. So hey, I'll send them at 220 and see what happens. Let it sit on it. In a month ago or so again, I'll send another 220, and we'll go from there.
Click right here. Let's see what that chart looks like. Remember, we're dealing with a bunch of chart artists here. Right. Scroll down just a tad for me. The bottom is cut off. You see that little V? That's kind of what I was looking for. Again, is what we just saw on the past screen. And then let's look at the days on market, because that's the one I'm very curious about. If you just want to drop that to a 1-year chart, that works too. Notice how it's skyrocketed, and then now it's just kind of
flattening out.
What do we call it? Consolidating?
Yeah, consolidating. Now, the other thing you guys got to remember, what we always spoke, it's 52 days in the market. So properties is still kind of selling kind of fast, right? It's still a seller's market. After 90 days, it becomes a balanced market. And after 120 days, 180 days, it becomes a buyer's market.
90 to 120, yeah.
It's still a seller's market at this point, as long as you price reasonable. Homes that are priced reasonable are selling quick. Homes that you don't want to budge in the price because I know what I have. Well, sit on what you have. Okay, we still have 3 months of supply. What we just spoke, after 6 months of supply, it becomes a buyer's market, and then everybody's looking for a deal. At this point, there are deals. They're far in between. They are there. If the property is priced correctly, snatch it and move on with it. Okay,
let's go ahead and see that chart too real quick, bro. Let's click on that. There you go. And again, it comes down to the spring buying season, right? It went down. That's what days on market is plateauing, kind of consolidating, going sideways, and months of supply is coming down. People are back out there shopping, trying to get their kids in the right school district, taking advantage of the fact that rates are no longer 7% like they just were a couple months ago. Never mind the fact that they're still double what they were a year ago. It's that rear view mirror type effect that's happening for sure. And some people just need to move, like Louis said, life circumstances. Sometimes you got to make a move. And more importantly, since there's a little bit more inventory, buyers are able to get a little bit more choosy. They're able to get a little more aggressive on purchase price. And everyone knows that, yes, rates will be high for a while, but eventually they will come down and you can always refinance. That's why we've been saying, don't sit on the sidelines waiting for this magical drop on the market. If you need to make a move, make a wise move, make a thoughtful move. And just know that as long as you have a long-term perspective, you will be able to refinance. And as long as you don't get yourself in over your head and underwater, you'll be in a good financial spot when rates do drop. Which it will happen. It could take 6 months, a year, 2 years. It's hard to say, obviously. Nobody,
Yeah, maybe it's going to be like 2006, 2007. It stays that for a while, 3-4 years. But again, if you're buying your own home, or if you buy an investment property and the investment property cash flow as it is, it's only going to get better when you refi.
Exactly.
So that's the problem. Just buy it now, as long as the numbers make sense. Again, don't fall in love with the property, fall in love with the numbers. But if the numbers make sense, just go ahead and do it. The numbers can only get better.
Bingo. And Christopher has a very valid point. If you wait, you'll also be competing with more buyers, right? Because what's going to happen is exactly that is when rates drop, there'll be now more buyers flooding the market. So it's exactly right. It's a matter of supply and demand. There's a little bit more supply. Go out there and try to get yourself a better deal. Depending on what it is that you're doing, whether you're buying a home or you're buying an investment property, you can always find something that works most of the time in most markets.
Okay, so here's the other thing that I want to do. House demand. Demand is went down a little bit because the rates were high. They started to creep up. Again, completely seasonal. As soon as we turn over New Year's, the rates start going high. But this is what I wanted to show you. Let me go down here. Let me move this zoom. Here. You see where people are moving, and this is from December to February. Remember, Redfin, they take data from U-Haul, from Penske, from all those moving companies. They take all the data, analyze the data, and this is where people are moving from and moving to. So where are people moving to? To the Southeast. So where do you think will be great to buy an investment property? The Southeast, where people are moving to. Okay.
The South in general, because it looks like Arizona's doing quite well too, man. Texas has been.
Remember, Arizona, Nevada, and Texas are always been the ones where everybody from Cali and the West Coast moving to. The rest of the people just moved to the South. Actually, I was talking to someone about Lubbock, Texas, and Amarillo, Texas. They seem to be having a huge boom lately, which a few years back is like, what? Amarillo? I mean, yeah, there's some cars where you spray paint them and that's it. They have huge hospitals that were built, a big Amazon distribution center. So people are moving where the jobs are, and with the price of living, it's better. Okay, so where are people moving to? Oh, Lordy.
Here we go.
All right, Miami, Phoenix, Vegas, Worms, Sacramento. I guess people that want to move in-state in California and going, towards inland to Sacramento. Tampa, Orlando, Cape Coral. I love it. Sarasota, Dallas, and Houston. Okay, when people are moving out of the big cities. Okay, surprisingly, Louisville. People are moving out of Louisville and moving to Lexington, which is what, 45 minutes away.
Yeah, but it's
a completely different market.
45 minutes away, you're probably saving, maybe 30% on your mortgage payment or your rent payment, and you just got to drive 20 more minutes to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving from Louisville, and Louisville was kind of like a little dead town. I know if you remember, it was all the government, everything is there, but there's really nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon. Everything was closed. There's not even a place to dinner. But same thing, people moving out of Denver, people are moving out of Connecticut, Boston, same thing, same always. Prices are insane. People just go cash out and buy something cheap for a little mortgage somewhere else where, you got better woods, better life, and better, quality of living. All right.
Speaking from personal experience, buddy.
Yes, I'm loving it here. All right. Do we have any questions right now? Type 1 if you guys are still here, please.
Can we get some ones?
Can we get some ones? Yes,
I'm still here.
Lori's here. Hey, Lori.
Joe Maloney, let's
here.
Go, Rock. All right.
Rock is here.
Maloney. Woo, Martino, we got a party.
Lori is killing it in Vegas. She's gonna be my foreclosure expert in Vegas in a few months. You'll see. All right, so if hope so, no, you will. There's no hope here. Okay, so I'll show you the fastest growing sales prices. Again, everything is down south. Everything is the southeast. Warm weather, warm territories. Any questions? Now, my boy here is going to Florida. As much as I hate it, we're going for spring break. So we're doing a meetup, Sistrunk Marketplace in Fort Lauderdale next Thursday. Everyone said, I think Rock would say was going, and Terrence says he was going. So we have beers, we'll have tacos, we have sushi, we have all kinds of things. We're gonna be there on Thursday, April 6th at 7:30 p.m. There you go. Here's my boy. Hey, you can still make it.
Lori, it's only a 6-hour plane ride. Come on.
Spirit flight is quick, and I mean, and it's right.
I'll pick you up from the airport.
Exactly. You see, now we're talking. I'll help you, and it's literally 5 minutes from the beach.
There's always that benefit, right? Now, that beach is gonna be a little
I
on
had
the
you at
pack
tacos,
side.
so no beers for Terrence. I had him at tacos. Good.
Man,
Well,
here I thought Terrence was coming to hang out with us. He's coming for the tacos. That's
yeah,
broke
I
my
know.
heart.
Oh, well, it happens. It happens.
I think there's one other event, right, that we have coming up here for RLT. So again, Thursday, guys, if you are in the South Florida area, we will be in Fort Lauderdale. That is Luis and myself, as well as Terrence and a few other people. I believe Craig is coming by, and Darian, and just a bunch of local South Florida people. So whether you're watching on YouTube, you're watching here live, come join us next week, Thursday the 6th in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, sir. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys is that we have the day trading meetup in Orlando, the retreat. Okay. There you go. Everything day trading. I was told if I say swing, I'm going to get smacked in the head. So we're going to do day trading retreat, May 21st to May 24th. Everybody and their mother is going to be there. I'm sure Jeremy and Matt and Tony and everybody. I have not heard yet about the schedule. I know Sochi was working on that as of a couple of days ago, but here it is. Okay. 5 days. We're going to stay in the same hotel. We're going to be doing trading. If you've been in the retreats, you know they're amazing. If you've not been in the retreats, trust me, they're amazing.
You need to come check one out.
Information that you learn, that it's so easy when it's face to face instead of being on Zoom, and you bounce ideas and you bounce life experience with everybody that's in the room. It's great. Okay, so there's a room now. There's a discount rate. I'm not going to click on that because I'm not going to do the room yet, and it's in Orlando. So just come here. Let me post this on the chat.
Time out for a quick second, because I don't know if this is factual. We are staying at Margaritaville, right, for the event.
I think it's a Margaritaville for the event. Yes.
And I heard, I don't know if this is true, but I think you'd be excited if it is. There's a margarita machine in every room. I can't say that that's factual, but maybe, because it is called Margaritaville. I know at least they make pretty good margaritas. I've had them, and I know you'd be excited to know that, bro. So I just wanted to pepper that in there as a little bit of an incentive for you to come early and stay late, because that's probably what I'm gonna be doing: coming early, staying late, drinking margaritas.
Hey, beat tacos, I can tell you that.
Eating tacos and drinking margaritas.
Hey, Andrew saying Vegas was incredible. I wish he could make it to Orlando, but he will definitely recommend it. There has to be margaritas in Margaritaville, I'm sure. If not, I'll find some rum. I promise I will. Okay. All right. So now that we're done with this, let me put the link in the chat so everybody can go into it. Just have a look. Reserve the reservations, look at pricing, FAQs, whatever you gotta did. Again, you got a video from the Atlanta retreat, which was amazing. Here it is, before April 1st. Oh, dude, tomorrow it goes up in price. I didn't know that. Need to set up mine. Okay.
Oh, that is a good picture right there from Vegas.
Just the amount of hours that you're gonna learn how to make here, he's gonna pay for this. So, and you probably can set up as business deduction. Okay, that works too.
And then you get your picture on the website. We made it to the website, dude. We're there. Well, yeah, picture, man, in Vegas.
Bro, really?
Good old team pictures. I love them.
There you go. We're on a website now.
Somewhere, there we are.
The other thing I wanted to mention, guys, we are here. Remember, real life training. We go into real estate. You got the couple months here. Hector information is here. My information is here. If you want to do anything with us, learn with us. We're gonna be doing mentor groups. Okay, the mentor groups, mine just finished yesterday. We're gonna be doing mentor groups again starting in May. Okay, I think you're bringing something as well. We're gonna be doing the Burr seminar with Brian. Brian is amazing. The guy has been in 5 years. He made up like what, $5 million, he said, on assets, just doing Burr, buying, rehabbing, renting, refinancing, and repeating it. The guy it's a beast. He's a beast. Okay, and we have personal meetings. personal meetings. You got your sessions here. Sessions with Brian is going to be as well. And again, if you ever missed any one of our shows, everything is here. We got everything ready for you. So I'm not sure why you're still not investing in real estate. So let me post this one for you as well.
And I will be starting the end of next month. Hopefully we'll get the information up on the website for applications, ready for applications, a real estate mentorship group just for heroes. This is specifically for veterans and it is free of charge. It is the full-blown real estate mentorship that we charge for. We will be doing it as a gift to the heroes, just essentially as a way of thanking them for everything they've done for us. That information will be dropping and updating on the website in the upcoming weeks. But in the meantime, if you are a veteran and you're interested, hit me up on Slack, reach out, and we can get you on a list.
All right. On Slack, or remember, we can always email us realestate@reallifechain.com. I'll show you all the emails or contact info at the end of the show. Any questions, everybody? Type a 1 if you don't have any questions. So let's keep moving because we have a great guest on the show today.
I heard there's a really awesome guest coming up today, dude.
Yes,
That's just word on the street.
Yes, sir. So we ready with this. Amanda, where are you? Let's.
Hi, I'm here.
There you
I don't know
are.
why you can't see me.
No, your camera seems to be off. Let me see if it's me.
on.
It's on. I don't see your camera. It says that it's off on my end.
It's not letting me turn it on.
Oh man, that's not really good. All right, so
You might have to upgrade her to co-host, Lou.
I did. She's a panelist right now.
No, you got to go co-host for the
Co-host?
camera, I think. Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. My co-host. Yes. Let me work my magic here. Let's see. Maybe you can do it now. Oops. There you
Hi,
are.
everybody.
There you are.
There she is.
All right, a little bit of background. You guys knew that I moved to the Atlanta area a few months back. And part of doing the whole real estate, we know that real estate is a teamwork. We've said it over and over and over and over again. So what do you need to have? You need to have a good agent. You need to have good contractors. You need to have everything. So one of the things is if you don't have a good agent, you can become a good agent as well. And I just signed up with Keller Williams here in North Atlanta. Basically, instead of getting a good agent that can give me tools and give me everything, I can access all that information myself. So a lot of agents, a lot of investors decide to become agents, or a lot of investors need to have a Rockstar agent on their team. So Amanda here, we just invited her so she can walk us through how you spot and you pick a Rockstar agent one, or how do you become a Rockstar agent. So she invited me to Keller Williams. I signed up with them last week, and I'm amazed with the amount of tools, and it's just amazing. She saw my face. It's hard for me to be mouth wide open and be shut up, and I was shut up.
Well, we're really excited to have you also. Who you're in business with matters, right?
Absolutely.
So a little bit of background. I this is my 20th year in real estate. I have been an investor for 15 of those years.
Okay.
I own properties in Georgia, Florida, and in Tennessee. I am past president at Georgia Real Estate Investors Association. I'm their youngest president to ever serve throughout the entire country. And I just love investing. My parents bought a house when I was 12, and I just thought it was the coolest job in the world. And that's what I wanted to do. I did graduate from the University of Tennessee and said, I'm going to go into this. So I've just enjoyed the journey. For me personally, I knew I wanted to be an investor. And my best friend's parents were investors, and they would call me and say, come over here and paint this room for me, and just always let me jump in and help from a hands-on standpoint. And I knew that I wanted to do that very early on. When I first got into real estate, I realized very early on I wanted to learn with other people's money. So it's when you're good at when I did do the research for my clients and made sure it was a good investment for them. But when you're good at something, especially investing, people flock to you, right? Like everybody, all of a sudden, everybody you know is sending you somebody to help them buy a rental property. And so I had a lot of clients and not a lot of time. And I chose personally to send them, I was like, where can they get education? Like, I really need them to go get education. Even if I lose one or two to somebody else, that's okay. I really need them to go get an education. So I found Georgia RIA, which is Georgia Real Estate Investors Association, and started sending my clients there. Well, I quickly became a vendor there. Then I became a board member, then vice president, then president during the crash. And the president before me, we went from 40,000 members to 4,000. So we had to quickly pivot and shift our building, our number of printers, like everything had to just literally stop, which is, I think it's so funny how when people should be buying, they're selling, and when they should be selling, they're buying. Like it's a weird thing because in the crash, I mean, I bought everything I could buy, so
which is
I highly recommended buying at that point.
Which is similar to trading. It's the same thing. We see the chart coming down, 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 down. It's like, oh, are you gonna pick up a knife? Yeah, sure. Sometimes it's good to pick up the falling knife. Tony was on the microphone. He's the king of that. And then he bounces, and you're done.
But that's not much different also with people becoming agents and becoming investors when things are booming, right? Literally like at the worst time, like at the time that there's the most competition. And then when things slow down, it's like, oh, forget this, forget real estate. Like, no, this is, but it's the old Warren Buffett adage, right? When others are fearful, be greedy. And when others are greedy, be fearful. Oh, look at that. Christopher just dropped that on the chat. Yes, I love it. We're in sync, Chris.
So I was fortunate enough that Don DeRosa became one of my mentors, and then we ended up being friends and owning businesses together. And he comes to our market center and speaks a lot. So if you don't know Don DeRosa, he's a coach. He helped write The Millionaire Real Estate Investor with Gary Keller, which is who owns Keller Williams. And so he's a huge mentor of mine. And so I'm very lucky and privileged that I get to have him in my world. And I think who is in your world matters. Like you have to have good mentors. You have to have good coaches. You need a board of directors that you're accountable to, even if that is, Luis and Hector, like they meet with you once a month on your business planning or where you're going, or, make sure you're going in the right direction. That's so important. Or a coach. I have a coach for Keller Williams, like for my position and helping me grow as a person. Like that is something that Keller Williams promotes. And so everybody on staff, executive staff here has a coach. So I was really, really burnt out in 2021. And I was ready to close my company. And explaining to your family that you're going to close a profitable company is a very uncomfortable conversation. And I wanted to come out of production. And I met our team leader, which is like our CEO of this office. Her name is Laura Donna. And I knew immediately that my world just got a lot bigger. That I wanted to do my real estate investing. I was kind of tired of owning the brokerage because I owned my own brokerage for 14 years. And I had 40 productive agents, and they were great. Some had been with me the whole 14 years. And I couldn't just leave them hanging. And so I came to Keller Williams and just was like, hey, what deal can you get for my agents? And the role of director of growth opened up. We were number 6 at the time. We ended the year at number 2 in the world out of over 800 offices. And we currently year to date are number 1.
Nice. Congratulations.
So everything in Keller is on profit. So the number 1 most profitable office in the world.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey.
I landed on a good spot.
What was that?
I landed on a great spot.
Yeah. We're going to have fun for sure. But the cool thing is, too, we get to invent the real estate office of the future. What does that future agent need? What do we have to do to stay number one forever? You know, the person who'd had it at Heritage, who had it the whole time since they opened. And so we dethroned them.
Great. Now, I got a quick question. So how do I spot a good agent? How does a really good agent helps me as an investor?
Well,
we all heard about, you know, my neighbor's uncle, sister, boyfriend, whatever is an agent, so you should call her. How can I spot a really good one from the big, how do I say this? From the big surplus of agents there currently are?
Great question. You know, if it's a good deal, we're going to buy it. So knowing an agent that knows what you like to buy. So know your buy box. Like that's the most important thing, is to communicate your buy box. And who brings me that buy box is who, you know, who gets the deal, right? As an agent.
Mhm.
So I do know people's buy box that's not the same as mine. So if I see a deal come across my desk, I will reach out and send that to that person. So knowing your buy box and communicating that is very important. Asking great questions is another key factor in who you let in your world. So one of the great questions you want to ask is, how many properties did they have? How many investment deals did they do last year? I see people constantly with the big badge, like the badge that's like bigger than life, that says investor agent on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, how many investors do you have in your portfolio that you work with? You know, I mean, to say 20 at any given time would be a good number. I have people that have 75. So if I need cash, I know where to go get it. But when I see them with the big badge and then they're like, and then even ask the question, you know, how many, you know, investor deals did you do last year? And they're like, well, those are not good signs. Definitely. So you want to ask them, is this, you know, why aren't you buying this deal? That's a great question. Why are you not buying this deal? If you're an investor, why are you not buying this deal? So, and then they say, I don't have the cash. And that tells me they're not creative. So just to be very transparent, I know we're being recorded, but that tells me that they're not creative, because creative financing is definitely a tool in the toolbox that everybody should have some understanding of or be able to use on some level. Some people just don't like it. Like I have had to be pushed out of my comfort zone because I like to buy with cash and everything be paid for. That's just me. But again, I have a coach who is pushing me out of my comfort zone. And so we all, you know, hit ceilings, and that's part of growing, right? And growing can be painful.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we always preach over here. Is if it's a good deal, the money will show up. You know, don't worry about the money. Money will be there. But just need to find, you know, the needle in the haystack. If it's amazing, you pick up the phone, I got this, and you'll get the money. So that's not the, you know, the problem.
Yeah, somebody came in my office at the end of February and said, hey, I have this deal. It's going to be this listing. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And it's supposed to go live this weekend. It's the last weekend of the month. And they're like, but if we don't sell it this weekend with somebody who can close in like 6 days, it's going to be foreclosed on the 7th.
So that's where you should have called me.
She bought it herself.
You weren't here yet. So I immediately picked up the phone and said, look, here's the deal. We're going to save their credit and they're not going to have a foreclosure on their record, but they're not going to get any equity. They're going to have to get out of it for what they owe on it. And we had it sold by the end of in an hour. So again, knowing people who can bring you those kind of deals is just important, because, you know, if there wasn't a pain point for that person, then they wouldn't have given up all the equity, right?
Absolutely.
Because there was good equity on it. It's like 80 grand equity for owning it a week. That's pretty good. So I think, so for one, ask the agent why they're not buying it themselves. And it may just not be in their buy box or their area, but they know it's a good deal because they know the area. Because, for example, I'm moving all of my investments to Tennessee. That's where I'm going to retire at, is between Tennessee and Florida. So I'm moving everything to Tennessee and Florida. Just me personally. So I can tell you if it's a good deal in Atlanta or not, because I know Atlanta better than any market. I'm from Tennessee. I know that market really, really well. I've been licensed there in Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee before. So I know those markets really well. Where I buy from in Florida is where I grew up going since I was born. So I know those markets really, really well. I do subscribe to the notion of buying, if you know, like Brett Tanner, he buys, if like he hears a Volkswagen plant's going in somewhere, he'll go buy up all the real estate around where the plant's going to be, fill it up, and then let the plant be built, let them fill it up, and then sell it off. So everybody has a different strategy, right? So I can tell you if it's a good deal in Atlanta, but my answer for why I might not be purchasing it is because I'm moving everything to Tennessee, so I'm not going to start repurchasing here in Atlanta.
That's a great point, because what you want is exactly that, right? Somebody that knows what it is that you're doing. And it's kind of what we've always said is like, you got to have somebody that knows what you're doing, but they don't want to compete with you. If you sit with an agent and they have the same buy box as you, that might not be your agent.
Well, and it might be like, hey, I'm in the middle of, for one, I'm an agent. So if it's spring and summer, I'm going to be making my cash, right?
Yeah.
So it may just be as something as simple. I mean, ask the question. It may, and they'll, if it sounds reasonable, it just like mine is, I'm just not buying in Atlanta anymore. I'm buying in Tennessee because that's where I'm going to retire, and I just want the ease of it. Or I have 3 rehabs going on, and I just mentally and physically can't withstand that right this minute, because it does happen. You do get at some mental maximum capacity sometimes, and right now my utter 110% focus is on getting us to #1 and staying at Keller Williams North Atlanta. That is my #1 focus. So anything outside of that is optional for me personally.
That makes sense. And let me ask you this, Amanda. Is it a mistake to use my cousin who just became a realtor last week?
I think that when we become successful, we are to turn around and help the next person. So I think it is awesome to include them in the process and what you're looking for. And when you're a new agent, you got to hustle. So I don't care if you're 50 or 5. I mean, well, not 5, but 25 or 55. If you're a new agent, you got to hustle, and you got to go out there and learn your market. So there's nothing wrong with sitting there going, hey, look, this is my buy box. And if you bring me the deal, of course I will use you and help you in the process. So I think in some instances when they're new like that, they have the fire in their belly to go out there and find it for you. So again, if you know your buy box, if it's a good deal, if it fits what you want, right? So there is nothing wrong with walking somebody through the process. They can't get good at it. Now, if they put forth no effort and just want you to throw them deals, no. But
or the famous one that they sent an email and they set the criteria, and you get an email every day. They don't even look at what they're sending you. That doesn't.
No, I would want that person, before they bring me a deal, to sit down and tell me why it's a good deal. That's a good exercise for your cousin too. You know what I mean? Like, tell me why that's a good deal to you in your mind. And it depends on what you're doing. If you're flipping, your numbers have to be tight. That agent has to know how much your rehab costs are. They have to know, what the going rate is. They have to understand that lumber just tripled. Oh, wait, it went back down. I mean, they have to know those things. And there's, that's a hard process. And again, I kind of enjoyed the process of learning on other people's money. And that's how I chose to do it, because I was like, before I took the risk, and I was very, very fortunate that I had so many great mentors in my world. I had an investor who's really bad about getting drunk and bidding on stuff and buying it. And then I would be left like, he'd be like, I just bought this last night off the HUD website. And I'm like, what are we going to do with this today? So, when you have the money and you can do things like that, I got to learn creativity and going in areas I'd never even seen before. And, so sometimes you get that kind of client that does crazy things like that. And so you get to learn a lot along the way. I mean, so, he just bought a quadplex.
Hey, sight unseen from our website.
Okay, I just bought this last night. Gotta quit drinking and bidding on HUD. I'm like, it's not Amazon.
And that true story, that's one of the reasons why I stopped bidding on auction.com after hours.
Right.
It's like, all right, no more, Hector. It's 9 to 5 only, dude.
That's not true, because we bought the one in Davenport at 3 p.m.
9 to 5, 9 to 5.
So yeah.
No margaritas at 3.
So asking great questions to me is, you can pick up on, hey, yeah, I had, this past year, I wasn't as investor heavy. I only had 3 investment deals going. They're being honest, but in the past, I've done 25 deals, if they're me, then you get to say I sold 250 homes a year for 5 years in a row.
That's amazing. Perfect question.
So, but, that's hard. It's a hard hustle. Like you're not slowing down at all. I worked every birthday, every Christmas, every holiday, we chose our vacation spot based upon me being able to get there, drop my computer and start working. So it was hard.
That's
the hard things are worth it sometimes, because then you get choices.
I hear you. I had a full head of hair when I started real estate.
I thought that was just me that picked our anniversary vacation spots based on where I wanted to go see real estate at. It's a really good building I want to go see in Clearwater, hon.
Yeah, she's not listening, right?
Oh, she's a broker herself, so she understands.
Okay, so she understands.
She's like, all right, let's go, babe.
Yeah,
that's what we make a good couple.
So definitely an agent with a portfolio themselves, finding out why they wouldn't buy it themselves, and then how many deals they did last year, and what resources they have for you. Like, what resources are they going to open up for you? Like I can give my clients an app. I can, there's different things that I can open up for them. I have 20 years of knowing every wholesaler in Atlanta. I get those lists every day. So things like that, unfortunately your cousin's not going to have that yet, but if they start going to RIAs and going to networking events and they're going to meet those people and get on those lists and, find out what do you buy? Why do you buy that? Go to the wholesaling class, go to the commercial class, get their sales and education on it. And then when the opportunity presents itself.
So I think if I understood you correctly, it's not wrong to include your cousin, but that should not be your only person. You should have other people feeding your business. And if you're a beginner, it's probably tougher for you to educate your cousin who's just getting started. You need that pro. People like Lewis and myself, we've been doing it for a little bit. We share the knowledge, obviously, and that's kind of what we do. But we also have our true tried connections that already, send us stuff. And yeah, we help other people obviously get going in the business. So it's good to have both, if I understood you correctly.
Yes. And if you're a new investor, you need a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call it. You do not need to be doing this by yourself. And it may sound expensive at first, but I've seen people lose $100,000, $150,000. I've seen people lose big money that is, for them, it was life altering. They would not, it was bad. And so if you think that coach sounds expensive, or you think that mentor sounds expensive, or you think that hands-on class sounds expensive, you haven't seen anything yet. People can be devastated in this arena. So you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need somebody. You need to be getting an education somewhere. Are most of the people here experienced or new or novice or?
So we have all levels of real estate. So the core of who's watching you live right now, they are all experts at trading the stock market. and some of them do deal in real estate as well, and they're investors and they're realtors. And their good majority is starting to look in that direction. And then when people watch this on YouTube, it's open to everybody.
So just so you know, Keller Williams does have a scholarship program, and through Luis, we can offer anyone who wants to get their real estate license anywhere in the United States, we can offer them their pre-license course. So if you want to just have that level of education, awesome, you can take the course. If you want to consider getting your real estate license, awesome, you can have the course. So just so you know, we at Keller Williams, part of Gary's great give back is people were debating with coupons and all this stuff, and he said, we'll just make it free to everyone. The barrier of entry just dropped.
That's amazing.
So,
so which brings me to the next question is, why would I want to become an agent when I'm an investor?
For one, the resources that you have available to you. That story that I told about the person coming to my office going, gosh, what do I do? The person that bought it was another real estate agent. So we do have the, you know, if you're, our office is investor heavy. You know, one of the other investors upstairs for real estate agents only, he walks them through how to do a rehab. Here's what you look for. Here, he on site. You go on site to a rehab that he's doing. And so you just have resources that you don't have. You have MLS resources. You have, you just have more resources. You just live in the world. Does that make sense? Like you just, everything you do is you live, eat, and breathe real estate. And you teach your kids too. Like, I mean, there's, you know, we play cash flow game at home. Like that's what we play. We're not, or Monopoly, but nobody will play Monopoly with mom anymore. But they'll play cash flow with me still. But definitely, you know, the education. You know, when you go to that closing table, you already know what documents you're signing. You already know what everything means. You aren't surprised by things. So definitely, if for nothing else, then the education.
The immersion, right? And that proximity to other people that have been in the business for longer than you. And I have an active broker's license. That's how I got started. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to be a realtor, but it does open up a couple of doors for you, right? And this Absolutely. Is the doors that we're talking about, is that proximity. Before I made my own investment, I did exactly, you know, same thing like you. I learned through other people's mistakes. And then, you know, I got opportunities that just weren't readily available to other people by being an agent. I no longer practice. I'm no longer active because I've reached a level where I don't enjoy being a realtor. So I don't want that in my life, but I got the background already. I got it. I still keep my broker's license there just in case. One never knows, right?
You said that your wife was a broker, because the nice thing too is, okay, you know, you want to buy, you're ready to level up and buy an apartment complex. Okay, I know of one that, you know, it's $8 million, but let's do it. Like that commission on an $8 million deal, I'll take all day long. I'll go personally there for you.
That's when you go back to being an agent, right? Like, hold on.
Right. You know, you want to buy that $3 million piece of land at 5% commission. I'll do that for you. Not a problem. So you know, there are times, you know, and some deals are hard. Like, you want to buy a gas station? Okay, that's kind of a hard deal. Yes, it's a lot of money, but you got tanks. How long have they been in the ground? Are they leaking? Like, great. You know, there's just, you know, when you're ready to level up past residential, not that, I mean, having a portfolio of, I know people who have huge portfolios of residential will never buy anything commercial, and that's just what they feel comfortable with. But then I know people who are like, okay, I'm ready to consolidate, get rid of this, or mortgage this out and go straight to and buy a commercial property, just easier to manage. Do you have it or whatever? You know, I sold some personal rentals, and I knew that my small hometown, they're about to pour millions into their downtown, and so I went and bought a small building downtown.
Perfect.
So we got a question from Amanda here. Lori asks, how do I find out more information regarding that program and the Keller Williams education?
If you want to email me or call me, so you can email me at acharlesworth@kw.com. Or you can text me at 404-512-2524, and I can get you the information. And it's nationwide.
Perfect. Yeah, Lori is killing it in Vegas. She has a few rental properties, and we went there a month ago as of now.
Yeah, time flies.
She got the bug and she wanted to go into the auctions immediately. So she's gonna be a killer. She's gonna be a killer. You'll see.
Gloria, I'll be there for Family Reunion, which is our real estate convention for Keller Williams. When we get together, we become the largest real estate convention in the world, and we will be descending upon Las Vegas in February of next year. So there'll be a lot of realtors in Vegas.
There you go.
As if there are already, right?
I was gonna say, what else is new?
Right.
But that will be, I'm sure that'll be an epic convention to be at.
Yeah. Any other questions for me?
Absolutely. What are the benefits of just joining Keller Williams? So
So when you join,
why Keller Williams instead of another brokerage? I know the tech is amazing, but you say it.
our tech is the best. We own it. So like if you are a member at Brevity, if your CRM is Brevity and Remax buys it, Remax just bought your whole client database. How does that make you feel? Not very good. So we own it. It's the best software that I've ever worked with, or system that I've ever worked with. And I've used Salesforce, I've used Top Producer, I've used all of those. And it is the best technology. But the culture, I mean, number one is the culture. Our culture is to give back and to help. And once you become successful, help the next person. So you're living in a world where people are there to help you. And I've been at other real estate companies. It is not that way. It is, can I see your listing presentation? And it is like, no. Like, why are you even asking me that? Like you're crazy for asking that. And here you like put it on our little back end Facebook group, like, hey, can I see somebody's listing presentation? There's 20 sitting in your inbox in an hour. So that's our culture, is to give back. Our technology is the best. I feel like our support staff is, we're always constantly top grading and coaching and training our people. If you start out at A, you're going to end at Z. Like, we're going to pour into you. We are going to, get you with the right coaches, get you with the best people. Like, that's our job. So it's not only the technology, not only, we try to never say no, we say how. Like when Lotfi came to me and said, hey, I want to bring this boot camp to our agents where they really see a rehab so that they're able to go and help more people. He didn't say, can I get a discount on my office fee or a discount on he didn't ask for anything. He's like, hey, is it okay if I teach this? It's like, yeah, let's get on the books. How do we get on the books? And so you're really just learning from and he's been an investor for about 12 years. So he's really good. So I trust that, he's the right person to do that. So there's a little bit of that, but I mean, I'm unrecruitable at this point. You couldn't recruit me. I've had people come in and say, what will it take to get you over here? I'll write the check. And I'm like, no, I have no interest in ever leaving. So it's people see me and they're like, I've known you for 20 years and I've never seen you this relaxed. I've never seen you this happy in the role. And that means a lot. My mental well-being means a lot. And in real estate, it can get off balance really fast.
Very fast.
Right. Because for most people, I would venture to say very few people get into real estate that have been super wealthy, like just from the beginning. Like most people who get into real estate have never seen money like this. And so it is life-changing, which is awesome. And that's one of the things that I love about it is I am the director of growth here at Keller Williams North Atlanta. So what I do is I meet with agents for 30 minutes at a time and they can work on their business planning or their wealth building. So I love, one of my favorite little couples I've been coaching, his wife didn't want to invest in real estate. And so I brought her in, we've been coaching with her, and now they are actually in Florida buying their first vacation.
That's
nice.
So I love
Good
that.
job,
that
Amanda.
That makes me feel good. Like you are changing people's lives. And my birthday was last week. And the first text I got in the morning, they said they waited till midnight to send me the text so that I would be the first thing that would be the first thing that I saw. And it was like, you have truly changed the trajectory of my life. And if I hadn't come here, I don't know that I would still be in real estate. I wouldn't be able to spend as much time with my family. I wouldn't be making as much money. I wouldn't be worrying about my personal self too, and growing mentally. I mean, it was like, I started crying very first thing in the morning. It was like the sweetest text. And just like, and it's like, I can't believe that you get to do this every day of your life, that you get to change people's lives. That's why I do it.
Director of Growth. That's an awesome title.
It is.
That's what Keller Williams does for people. It changes your life. If you, there is a joke about Kool-Aid, but if you really pour yourself in, let people pour into you and pour into others, and live the culture, it is like no other. It is like no other company in the world, and I don't mean just real estate. I mean, it is like no other company in the world where the CEO comes up and hugs you. And Sanjay,
we got one of those.
So Sanjay, who is over all of Keller, gets Gary Keller, Sanjay, Mark King. Sanjay, like the hotel that everybody was staying at for the convention, it's 7 o'clock. Who's down there walking around? Sanjay. We walk into a restaurant and Gary Keller's like son John is, because Gary Keller's older. His son John is like, hey guys, and he like comes in and it's like talking to everybody, and who does that? I said, I guarantee you Warren Buffett's son or daughter, I don't know what he has, isn't walking into their convention and coming up and saying hi to everybody when he could just keep walking. He didn't have to stop. Because I was like, why do you have a bag? And he's like, oh, I was just out shopping. I had to pick something up. And I just saw you guys and came over. Who does that? I mean, you just don't see that. I mean, Mo Anderson, who's the first female president of a major real estate company, who actually laid out our culture, and we celebrate that on her birthday every year. We call it Red Day. She walks in a room with 500 people. She walks in and nobody even knows that she's there. We all turn and look, and there's Mo Anderson. So yeah, Flash by Design. Yeah. So it's just the coolest world to be in, and it's just really, for me, it's life-changing. It's the place I want to be. I get to come into work and work with people that I just adore. I mean,
that's great.
And I get to meet people like Luis. Like, it's just, you're just like, wow, you flipped 193 homes. Do you realize that most people, that even people that say they're investors, have never done that?
Mm.
I mean, they got the big badge on though.
Oh, I know, and they drive a fancy car too. It's all clean, probably.
Yeah, clean car. That would definitely be a sign of somebody. Yeah, if they show up in a suit and high heels or that kind of thing, they have no idea what they're about to walk into, right? Like, they definitely have not worked with investors. They're going to have on jeans and hopefully maybe boots if necessary. Yeah.
Wait. You mean flippers don't show up like the HGTV guys with the nice shoe, with the sandals and the nice jeans, and start laying tile real quick?
The drink.
With their mojito in hand or margarita?
Yeah, you're like, no. So yeah, so if they show up in heels, that's probably another red flag that they don't work with investors.
So I do have a question on the other side, Amanda, right? Because there's obviously, we talked about all the good stuff, right? Why becoming an agent is good in terms of on your path to being an investor, or while you are an investor. What are the cons to being a real estate agent and an investor at the same time? What are the negatives though? What should we watch out for?
I mean, for me, I've never had a real negative. I mean, again, I've had access to people that I would not have access to. I have access to deals. I I guess I just don't even know. Like, to me, it makes absolutely no sense. And again, like with Keller Williams, we have profit shares. So even if you're just an investor, you're going to come in contact with people who are like, oh, you know about real estate, I'm thinking about getting my license. Okay, great. Go to Keller Williams. Thank you. Write down my name so I can get profit share. Thank you. I mean, so even, I mean, to me, there just is really no drawback. Some people are worried that they have to disclose stuff, but you have to, in Georgia, you have to disclose stuff anyway. So, I mean, there is no non-disclosure of flaw. If you know about it, you have to disclose it. So it doesn't hold you more accountable. And the other thing too is Georgia is, you know, we were the big one. Atlanta was the big city during the last market crash for fraud. So they really don't like wholesalers here. So they are moving to make them be licensed. The only way that you can wholesale houses is to be licensed, because they want to take this off the police and put it on the real estate commission, and to watch and make sure they're being ethical in how they go about doing things. So in the state of Georgia, if you want to be a wholesaler, you're almost going to, moving forward, it may pass this time. I don't know if it's going to pass this time or next time, but there's a very strong possibility you're going to have to get licensed anyway. And I foresee that as every other city is going to go, wait a minute, we can put this on the real estate commission and just not have to worry about it. Let's do that. You know, so because police have other things to do, right?
That's really interesting legislation. I did not know that was going around. That's pretty cool. And that was, you basically hit the nail on the head. And that's where the one liability I think that you could have by being an agent, if you're being shady, because if you're an agent, now you're held to a code of ethics, which wholesalers and investors alike don't need to be ethical. But if you are an ethical person, then you're going to have no issues. You're not going to have any liability from being a licensed agent while you're working for yourself. You will have to disclose, just like Amanda said, in most states, in most areas, but same thing here in Florida. If you know about it, you need to disclose about it. And really, that's the fair thing to do, team. So
right. And I mean, people, to be transparent, when you're going and saving somebody's house from a foreclosure, I didn't get you here, you know? Yeah. I mean, the reality of it is they made some choices to get there, right? But you are saving their credit. I mean, you are helping save their credit. They can now go into different rental situations versus if you just have a fresh foreclosure. You know, you are helping them. But I got to be transparent. I had an agent come in here and she's like, you're not going to believe this. She's been an agent for 30 something years and she's an investor also. She was this couple that I bought the house from them. It was going to be in foreclosure. So I helped save their credit. I fixed up the house. I put new systems in it. And 5 years later, they came back and asked me if they could buy it back. And I said, yes, you can. So,
price.
Right. They were like, well, since you took such advantage of us before, and she's just like, what did you just say to me? Wait a minute. I saved your house. I saved your credit. I fixed up your house. I put new systems in it. And I'm letting you buy it back, which I don't have to do. I don't like taking things out of my portfolio, right? But amazing how people see things.
Yeah, I hear you. All right.
That's a tough one. I wonder how that ended up, but we'll leave that alone.
Well, I mean, this was just like last week. She just came off like, you're not going to believe this. Like, she thinks she's being nice because she's like, yeah, I'll let you buy back. Like, I really don't mind. I don't like to take things out of my portfolio, but you know, if you want it back, I'm willing to sell it back to you only. You know, I'm not going to put it on the market and sell it, but.
So yeah. I think you answered this question already by your enthusiasm, but you know, it's here, so we'll ask it. What is real estate really as scary as some people make it out to be, and as difficult?
I think you should have I think you have to take action. I think that my personal belief is if you can add to your portfolio, add to your portfolio, because even though real estate will go up and down, it's going up and down like this. It's still going up as it goes up and down a little bit. So if you have for example, let's just say if you have $60,000 that you're just sitting on, you're like, I don't want to pay this interest rate or whatever. You're better off buying a $300,000 rental today at full asking price if you're going to hold it, than you are that $60,000 earning a little bitty bit of interest rate. I mean, or a little bit in the stock market or whatever. Like, to me, my personal belief is that you are better off doing that. And it's worked well for me. And I do believe that it has worked well for, I think, every millionaire throughout the history of time has some real estate.
Mhm.
And real estate's created more millionaires than any industry ever. So there's got to be some truth to it, right? I do believe that, I personally believe that you can pick up almost any book on the shelf of real estate investing and follow the formula, and you will be successful. But the problem is taking action. I do love The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. If you have not read it, pick up that book and read it. Definitely one you want to add to your bookshelf or listen to, because it starts with mindset. And we all have such limiting beliefs. And I had limiting beliefs. I mean, really, the first 5 years I was in real estate, I should have been buying real estate too, right? But I didn't, because I was scared. So we all have that. But get good mentors behind you. Make sure it's a good deal. But taking action is the most important part. Because if you're going to buy and hold, I mean, just make sure it's a decent deal and that it's a decent house or whatever your buy box is. But you know, if you have another job, you know, if you have like a full-time job, you may not want to buy rehab. It might be too much. If you're planning on rehabbing yourself, and no, don't do that. Just buy a standard house, put somebody in it, let it build equity for you, and then reinvest that equity. There's actually, Brett Tanner has an amazing chart. I'll try and get it for you, Louis.
Mhm.
And it basically goes to show, if you buy real estate and just start reinvesting, like at year 10 or 15, I think it is, it like skyrockets your wealth. I mean, it's insane how in just a few years you can skyrocket your wealth by just reinvesting the cash flow. It's an amazing, it's a really good visual.
Yeah.
That I've really enjoyed. Brett Tanner is head of wealth for Keller Williams. So again, when you're a member at Keller Williams, you get to go to events like he's speaking here in Atlanta. You can be in Brett Tanner's mastermind, but you have to commit to going to Austin 12 times for the year. You have to present a business plan in which will be worth $50 million before you're even allowed in.
Wow. A little bit of a barrier of entry there, right?
Yeah.
I love it though.
So you don't have to be worth 50 million, but you have to present a business plan in which you will be worth 50 million during that time of that business plan. I think it's a limit of like 15 years. Like you've got to be worth 50 million in 15 years, something like that. It may have like a little time constraint on it. But you know, there's a funny picture on my Facebook, Louis, of Brett Tanner and I, because he was speaking at Family Reunion, and you had to have a special badge to get into his speaking engagement. Well, guess who didn't have a special badge? Brett Tanner.
But
so
just up in the room.
Stuck outside of his own event, and the security will not let him in because he did not have a special thing on his badge. So you get in rooms like that. You get to go and be around people who are achieving at a high level. Before I came here, I did not know any agent who had made over $1 million in commissions a year, and we have 7.
Wow,
so,
that's epic.
Yeah, it's and one they did 2.7 last year, I think, and then you know, we were at Family Reunion and somebody's like, hey, let's go have drinks with Bob Lucido. And this is like at 11 o'clock at night, where you're like, oh my gosh, I have to be up at 6. I'm already so tired. And it's like, oh, but Bob Lucido made 35 million in commissions last year. So, because he's in every state and 3 countries. Lucido Global has a Lucido Global inside of a Keller Williams in every state in the country and 3 different continents or 3 different countries. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go run and do that. Yes, you're gonna buck up, have a little coffee, and go have be able to have conversations with people like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's open up for questions. Let's see if we have any questions from anyone in the chat. Type one if you guys, got a whole bunch of nuggets there.
Let me throw my one in there. And I do love the real estate, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, by the way, Amanda. Read it several times. I love Shift. I love the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I mean,
So
I love
they
them all.
they say if you read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent between your 12th and 13th time, that you are worth $1 million.
I believe that. 12 and 13th. That means you gotta keep reading it, guys. You gotta read it and read it again and read it
Memorize
again.
It's a workbook. It's living. Memorize it.
It's a Bible, and that's, I think, one of the reasons for Keller Williams' success is Gary's ability to capture data and digest it for people and build teams. Because Louis and I were talking about this, is the team building, I think, that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
At Keller Williams, yeah.
So
We got a couple of his books on our recommended books.
Actually,
on the
I
website.
have them here. We have the recommended list.
So I love to interview people, and as you know, I do that quite a bit. Or Louis knows that I get to do that quite a bit. So my favorite question to ask people is, I always end with two questions, and the one is, if you could go back in time and tell yourself something, what age would you have done that at, and what would it be? So I would go back to myself when I was 18, and I would tell myself to get my real estate license then, and don't be scared, because I was scared to get it then. I could have gotten it then, and to start buying as many properties as you can.
Absolutely.
And then
I would send that message to little Hector too.
Hey, I was pregnant and had babies when I was an agent. So my kids have been to closings and put signs in yards, and they used to wear shirts that said realtor in training. And, when I was on my own, they both said, we don't want anything to do with real estate. We don't want to own those properties. We don't want to be an agent. Like, we don't want to do any of those things. And I think this is interesting. So since I've been at Keller Williams, they've both now come back and said that my daughter has said she doesn't think she wants to help people buy or sell, but she does have a disease similar to Parkinson's. So that might be like hard for her. But my son has also said that, he's definitely going to get his real estate license and do something with real estate. He just doesn't have clarity around what yet, but they've rehabbed houses. Every house that we own that we've kept in the portfolio, they have worked on. So every single rental house that we have kept, they have either painted, landscaped, done something. And there's Saturdays where they're like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like,
no choice.
You know what? This affords you a lifestyle and things that other people don't get. And so get up, we're going.
That's awesome. I love that. Mine are only 2.5 and 1, but my 2.5 has already been to a couple projects with me. He hasn't quite swung a hammer yet, but I will get him there really, really soon.
They love the construction phase. The construction part is, I can get my son to go pretty easily if we're destroying something, but the other part,
I can't wait to give him a hammer and let him go do some demo. He's a little young, so mom won't let me just yet.
Ali has done it, so don't worry. If mine has survived.
And Gary always ends every interview with, what question have I not asked you that I should have?
That's a great question. What question have we not asked you that we should have, Amanda?
What inspires me? So today, what inspires me is different. It is about wealth building still, but it's about legacy leaving. And so, like, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to, and when I get that text on my birthday that somebody waited up till midnight to send me a text, and they told me that later. I just happened to, it was the very first text that I got on my birthday. And, but just how much I had changed someone's life. I mean, like, we don't realize that we're in an industry with the money that goes through, like, we see the big numbers and it's life-changing money. And so I've had people come to me and say that they want to, help other people. So, but you can't be in, you can't, like those hard deals where you're changing somebody's life, you can't build your whole business around that, right? So I'm like, once a year, you're going to take one person and make sure you change their life, help them with their credit, help them get in their house, because you can look up, being a homeowner is a life-changing thing for everyone. Everyone needs to be a homeowner. If you are not a homeowner, your net worth it comes out every year. It's between $4,000 and $6,000. If you are a homeowner, your net worth is approximately $240, give or take, $1,000. That is life-changing money. That is epic, life-changing money. And that is how we solve a lot of the problems that our country has, is getting people into homeownership. And I truly believe that. And so that is one of the things that I'm very passionate around, is getting people into homes that changes their life.
That's awesome. I love that.
Wow. You know, and that's what
But now I get to go and teach people how to do that. Like when our Millionaire Real Estate Investor Book Club, like that's one of the big things. I'm like, you need to go, I'm here pouring into you, but this is what I want from you. I want you to go and change one person's life, help them get in a house that they don't know how, they don't know where to begin, they don't have financial literacy, don't have any of those things, once a year. You don't have to do 12 a year, you don't have to do, but once a year you can go and help somebody get some financial literacy, get their credit score up. They may not even need their credit score up. They may not even they just don't understand how to do it.
Yeah, change the mindset from being just a renter, you know, a yearly, a lifelong renter, to owning an asset. That's simple.
Yeah, mom's a renter. She doesn't know how to get a loan. You know, dad's a renter. He doesn't know how to get a loan. My family, we don't know how to do it. But you can do it.
Guys.
Pay it forward. I love that. That's a great message.
All right, Amanda, thank you so
Thank you for having me
so
on.
much for being here. I mean,
absolutely, we're so glad to have you.
I'm sure that we click with a lot of people, and we're gonna be changing lives. That's the whole point of real life trading. That's why we're here, pouring everything that we can on, you know, on everybody. Whoever listens, it will click for someone, I'm sure.
Excellent.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you
really
so
do appreciate you being here, your time, and all the knowledge and inspiration that you just dropped for me, as well as for everybody else listening. We greatly appreciate it. Again, please reach out to Amanda if you have any questions on Keller Williams. Here's her contact. It's easy. Reach out to her via email, via text, via phone. She's a wonderful person to speak to. Just met her today, and I already love her. I already want to come down to Atlanta and hang out, go to lunch.
Now you see how I was like, dude, she has to be here.
Rock says, thank you for the information. This was awesome. Jay says, great. Thank you so much. Great guest. So the community loves you. We love you. Thank you, Amanda. Hopefully we'll have you soon again.
Yeah, if y'all are ever in Atlanta, just come by. Lewis and I'll be here.
For sure.
Thank
All
you.
Right. Let's wrap it up. So again, usual, we're here, we're everywhere. If you have any questions, if you want to hear about anything, if you want us to take any topics, please email us, contact us. Our email is realestate@reallifetraining.com, or like I showed you guys earlier, you go reallifetraining.com/RE and we're there. The same thing, just like and subscribe. I guess, you know, this is going to YouTube, so please like and subscribe so we start getting our real estate, account going up. And that's it, boys. Thank you so much. Have a happy Friday.
Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna do one more challenge, Lou. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously like and subscribe, but go ahead and give us some feedback. Throw a comment in there. Give us some topics. Even if you're not part of real life trading and you're not on Slack and you don't really want to email us, you're watching on YouTube, just put a message on there on YouTube. We will get it. We do read them. Give us some feedback, some comments, and we appreciate it. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Mike. We really appreciate you guys being here. Have a good one, team.